So I'm just going to do a quick little book pickups video. I'm heading away for work, got a new job, yay! I got to travel state for this new job, which is awesome. So I'm going to do a quick video before I leave to show what I've picked up so far this month. I know I said I'm not buying any more books for a while, but these were what I bought before I said that. So after this, I've got a package coming in the mail that I ordered ages ago, but the seller was away and he's only just sent it, which was all good. We knew that's what was going to happen. So I will do a video on that in the next few weeks whenever I come back from work. But this is what I picked up recently. I got this today, in fact, to filming this video. I got this today. This is Miriam Margolyes. This much is true. This is supposed to be absolutely fucking hilarious. If you know Miriam at all, then even if there's like the tiniest bit of her in this book, then I'll be happy, because she's one of the funniest people on this planet. Absolutely fucking hilarious. She was in Harry Potter. She was the herbologist teacher, I think, that had like the mandrake root and stuff. I've seen a lot of her interviews. She's fucking hilarious, absolutely hilarious. So if this book is anything like I've been told, then I'm going to be super happy. So I'm going to take this one with me because I really want to read this one. So I want to read this now. But I've got one I want to finish first, and then I'm also going to take with me while I go to work, for work, Five Survive by Holly Jackson. I picked this up because of Book Talk, and I'm okay with that. So this just sounds really, really cool. Bit of a YA thriller, I guess. Thriller, like who's shooting and who's killing who sort of thing. So I recognize the author, but I didn't know why. And it's because I recently picked up this one, As Good as Dead, because this sounded really, really good. Didn't realize, though, that this is the third in a trilogy. Well, I guess technically a trilogy, which I'm now going to have to get the next two, or the first two in this series. Because if I like this, I'll go and buy 1 and 2, and I'll read this trilogy as well, because it's it just sounded really interesting as well. Another sort of thriller murder type one, and YA. So looking through, looks pretty quick and easy read. So I want to read some more. I've discovered a few that I've really enjoyed reading outside my comfort zone. So that's what these are. So I'm going to read those, but I'm going to take this one with me. This is a standalone, so that's okay. So yeah, as good as dead. So that's awesome. I found this one in the op shop. This is basically brand new. I don't think anybody's ever read this one. And this is Joe Hill. And it took me the longest time to figure out what the fucking name of this title, or what the book title was. As Nosferatu. And when you think about it, it's not actually that hard to figure out. But yeah, I don't know. And I'm pretty sure Joe Hill is Stephen King's son. I'm sure somebody will correct me on that, but I'm going to go with that. That's Stephen King's son right there. But it just sounds really cool. Just seemed really interesting. And I've discovered I really enjoy reading horror. So I'm going to get a few more horror. Yeah, just ones that seem interesting. I've got a good selection here already. But I just, if there's anything out there that looks a bit interesting, sounds interesting, that I would normally pass up on, I'm going to pick it up. Especially at a good price. Like that was like $4, so it's nothing. I got a copy of The Wind and the Willows. Another copy. This is the 100th anniversary edition by Kenneth Grahame. This is beautiful gold lettering in there. Nice artwork. Has some artwork on the inside. This is one of my favorite stories of all time. Growing up in the early 90s, late 80s, this was very prominent in my childhood. So I don't know. I've just started collecting now different versions of this book. I didn't bring a version of this up with me, so now that I have one here, there's no rush for me to go and get a copy from my storage unit, as much as I really want to get all my books from down there. But yeah, it's just an absolutely amazing story. I think I've got all the sequels bar one, written by, I forget his name, but this is just an absolutely amazing story. If you haven't read Wind in the Willows, they're basically talking animals that, they even interact with humans. So it's really, really cool. And they drive cars, and they have they use cutlery and stuff like that. They go on picnics, so it's just really cool. Love it. This is awesome. I paid $2 for this. This is the Penguin book of Victorian Villains, Victorian villainy. So like gothic horror sort of thriller, and it is fucking huge. It is massive. Look. The only reason I picked it up is because not only is it like Victorian Gothic sort of horror, I have a Penguin, the Penguin Book of Horror or something like that, which is like a black one with a skull and stuff like that. So this matches beautifully, and it is in great condition. So Bloomsbury Books. I don't know if it has any value, but it's certainly valuable to me. This is awesome. Absolute chunker though. I got this. I think it's like a YA fantasy, which bookmark fell out. It's a YA fantasy. It's Children of the Dragon by Rose Estes, and yeah, I like my YA fantasy, kind of like like my point fantasy, and it was only a couple of dollars. Seems like a quick, easy read. It just seems like a lot of fun. I really like these books because it's sort of the books that got me into reading back when I was a kid. So yeah, absolutely love it. Found it. Finally found the first Piers Anthony Xantha novel. I'm not too crazy about trying to hunt these down, but if I see them and cheap prices, it was $4, but hey, I don't care. I want to read this one at least and then see if it's worth getting the rest, because I think I've got the third one up there and possibly the second one around as well, but I'm not sure. But I want to at least read this one, see if I like it, because there's a bunch of these around, and I have owned this in the past and not realised because the cover is super familiar. So, I don't know. Let me know if you've read the Xanth books, if they're worth reading. I do like my fantasy, and they just seem... it's rather epic, but never know. One day I might get around to them. Spooky Stories number 6 by Barbara Orison. I don't know. This just seemed really cool. Very short, easy, short story read. Probably a little bit YA, perhaps. I don't know. But it's from the 80s, from the early 80s, early to mid 80s. Looks cool. Great cover. So I picked it up. We got Adam by Mike Baker. Primitive creature strikes terror in a modern world. Check out that cover. That's fucking awesome. It's a Mills and Boon as well. So it's very thin. I could read this. It's like not even 100 pages. I could read it while taking a dump. And it's... when is this from? This has to be a YA. 1977. It might not be. I don't know. But this is just fucking great. I might even take this one with me. I could read this on the plane. But I'll have this done in like half an hour. It's just like... As I say, death was a low price to pay for the capture of Adam when compared to the havoc and horror which followed the primitive monster's escape from his electrified cage. Terrific tales of spine-chilling horror and adventure from Mills and Boon. Oh, this is great. This just sounds so good. I love a good killer monkey or, giant monkey sort of story. I don't know. That sounds really good. I'm going to put that in my pile to take. 2001 AD by G. Foster. It says, when man unleashed atomic power, he unwittingly changed the world. In this changed world, could the aging process be reversed? If the life cycle were inverted, could the fear of youth become more threatening to man's peace of mind than his gradual senility, getting senile, basically, and death. I just sound really cool. It's like Benjamin Button, but in a post-apocalyptic future. So that sounds really good. Time Twister by Jed Mabry. I've seen this one a few times, but I've left it, but then I decided to pick it up. So it's like Jason and his brother Troy and their sister Helena discover that they possess the gift of time travel. Through the Time Twister video game, they learn they can use their powers in carrying out important missions which will prevent the wrong future from coming to pass, one that would endanger their father. That sounds a bit YA, but that sounds like a cool, family, kids, 80s science fiction movie sort of thing. From 1985. So that's really cool. I got a couple of Fear Streets. Don't find these very often, especially ones that I don't have. And they were only $1 each. So we got The Dare, which is R.L. Stine, obviously. I don't know. I have about 50 of these sort of Fear Street and Point horror books. I have no idea which ones I have and which ones I don't have because they're not here. So I'm going to pick these up regardless, especially if they're $1 each, because some of them are worth ridiculous money. But I got The Dare. And then I got this newer one. This is New Fear Street number 4. It's called The Bad Girl. It's got a pretty messed up cover. Dead girl in a field sort of thing. So I don't mind these. I'm not going to pay premium prices for these newer ones. If I can get over $2-3 at the most, I'll pick them up. I do have some of this new Fear Street in like an omnibus edition, so I'm not sure if I have this one again, but it's still technically Fear Street. It's R.L. Stine. It's going to look awesome in the collection up with the rest of them. Then I got The Clockwork Teddy. This is a bear collector's mystery. This looks so good. This is, I think, the third one in this sort of series. I think you could read it without sort of following any order. But this is called by John J. Lamb. So it's like a husband and wife. They're like antique bear builders or collectors or something like that. And then they solve mysteries, like murder mysteries and shit. So his retired San Francisco cop and his wife, Ashley, have been settling into a comfortable life, collecting and creating adorable teddy bears. And then they solve murders as well. What more do you want? This is a book that I didn't know that I needed to have and read in my collection until I found it. Fucking awesome. So I do need to find the first one now. So, yeah. Because you got to read the first one first. Star Wars. This is awesome. Like the Star Wars Force Unleashed. I have the Force Unleashed 2 in a hardcover. Again, not here, but this is awesome because I never see a copy of this anywhere. This is by Sean Williams. I've played the game. I'm about halfway through playing the game actually on my computer, and it's very buggy. And it was the only way I could beat some of those bosses was relying on the bugs in the game. But it's still hella fun. So, and I like this guy. This is Whitaker. What's his name? Someone Whitaker. I've just been recently watching a playthrough of Days Gone, and he's the main character in that. So yeah, this is awesome. Can't wait to read this because it's Star Wars, and it's yeah, I love it. Absolutely love the game so far. So keen to get started on that. And I think I said in a couple of videos ago that I would find this book, and I did. I even found the cover that I was wanting. This was $3. Well read, but that's okay. Still in really, really good condition and perfect for me to read. So I do have Blue Mars and Green Mars up there in this cover. That's awesome. This is Red Mars by Kim Stanley Robinson. Stoked to have this because I really want to read this trilogy. At least this first book. I want to read this year. This would be my next big epic science fiction, I think. I've started Line of the Polity by Neil Asher, which is so good so far. I'm only about 3 or 4 chapters in. Really good so far. So this will be my next one. After I'll finish that trilogy, that 5-book series in the Cormac series. I will read that this year. I will read a couple more in the Enders series as well. So I want to have the Cormac series done and a couple more in the Enders series, and then I'll read the first one of this, and then I will finish Enders and then finish these two. They're all the main sci-fi that I want to read this year, and then plus everything in between. But this, I'm so happy to have this. Very stoked to have that. Put that up there. But that's all I had today, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching. Let me know in the comment section what you thought the standout of this pickup was. For me, probably Red Mars and that Penguin book of Victorian Villains. It was so good to find that because it was in just a real sort of old school shifty looking op shop that probably had nothing else, and that was the only cool thing that it had. But yeah, that was great. So let me know what you're reading. Until the next one, guys, stay safe, stay happy. I will see you in a few weeks' time, I think it's a couple of weeks' time, I'm not sure. But until then, enjoy your books, whatever they may be, and take care.